welcome to this Christmas edition of the Euroexist China Videocast. Hello, everybody. Hi, Anna.
Hi, Halldor. Hi, everybody. Yeah, we are really in Christmas mood. I see we're both wearing Christmas tree green sweaters as we promised in the last edition.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the Christmas sweaters and the Christmas tree and everything is up. Normally, I would love if I had like a time off right before the holidays, but we have been quite busy recently with our science lab and everything. So this edition of the videocast had to sort of go to the end of the season, but that's just totally fine because I feel like having a little bit of a holiday spirit in the last videocast is also something that it feels totally appropriate. So, how is everything in Italy? Are you guys having any snow, or how are things?
Oh, a little bit, a little bit. We had some snow, not anymore. But yeah, there were a couple of days when we woke up in the morning and everything was white. And of course, Christmas lights all around town, big Christmas trees, and Christmas markets. So the feeling and the Christmas mood is definitely there. And let's hope also that we won't have more restrictions because of COVID coming in, because we also need to consider it from that point of view. But it looks like it's going to be better than last year, and so it's already very good. And how is it in Beijing? Do you have any Christmas decorations around town?
I would say less of a Christmas decoration this year compared to normally. It's a little bit interesting. Like sometimes they really double down on the Christmas theme and they put up all these Christmas trees and so on. And I don't know, maybe this year there's like a little bit less interest in external things with the COVID restrictions and everything. So you don't see as much of it like normally. There's some like winter themed things going on, I noticed, as an alternative. And I also saw like examples where people were decorating like red and like in the Christmas colors. But if you look really closely, it's actually like the Chinese Temple of Heaven that is like there, but they're kind of using it to decorate around. Anyway, it is Christmasy here. I always feel like Beijing is a little bit Christmassy place. It gets cold in the winter and it gets dark here, and there are lights normally around this time of the year, and like of course people love to go shopping around this time like the holidays for the Chinese are like the Western holidays for the Chinese are a great opportunity to go shopping, and they are selling the tanghulu, like the little red hawthorn skewers that have like caramelized. It's like a little bit like caramelized apple, and they're also selling like this like roasted walnuts as well, and it's like very wintry. And for me, I've come to connect it a little bit with the Christmas spirit. So actually, because I've been here in China so many years during the Christmas time, a lot of the my Christmas tradition has been connected to how things are in the city during that time of the year. Anyway, I was thinking maybe we can like take a quick look back at what we've been doing lately. You made a video, Anna, right?
Yes, I mean, we made several videos recently, but I think we can go on and watch this video that shows a little bit what happened during the recent science lab. So let's watch it, Halder.
Yeah, definitely. That's it. That was our science lab in a nutshell, right there.
Yeah, so that was your Science Slam China 2021, with everybody clapping hands to the finalists. But yes, I'm very happy. It was the first Science Slam that I organized because I think the last edition was in 2018. So we don't do this every year. But it was really exciting, and it was maybe even more exciting for some of us because it was, in this very interesting format. But okay, let me take a step back for those of you who might not know what a Science Slam is. A Science Slam is the science communication competition. And this year we started talking about science communication back in the first quarter of the year. We had this science communication training with very interesting trainers, including also last Science Slam winner and other like experts in science communication. And so we started collecting interest and the applications to select the finalists for the final event, the final competition that took place just recently in December. And so we invited finally six researchers, three Chinese researchers and three European researchers based in China to come and join our final event and compete among each other. And we had a jury, part of which was in Beijing, part of which was online, that had to assess the best science communicator. And so the researchers that was able to present his or her research project in a way that was funny and original and creative, but also in a clear way. So presenting his science in a funny way to an audience that was not expert. So they found like very original ways, really, and very different approaches, one from another, to explain their complex research project in very different fields, using softwares and drawings, or using objects and moving around with the camera. It was really very interesting, also because of the format. But we'll get to that in a minute. So I mean, it's a fun competition. Normally we would hold it in Beijing or in Shanghai, in a nice environment, maybe a bar, and meet with all the participants and all the audience over drinks. Of course, this year was not possible, but still we managed to put together, I think, a nice original event, in the spirit of the Science Slam. So we had these six researchers connecting from different parts of China, from the south, even from Hainan, from west China, Chengdu. Some was in Beijing, but anyway, they were, on their couch at home. Then Halldor was with our jurors in Beijing in a very nice setting, with sitting. Everybody was sitting around this stage, this small theater, and they would follow on a big screen. And then I was in Italy, of course, as usual, with the other part of the jury members. We had even the previous Science Slam winner that woke up at 3:30 in the morning, because he's now based in New York, but he was too excited to miss it. So yeah, we had him from New York, another from Milan, Barcelona, Porto. Really, it was a great opportunity to involve people who wouldn't normally be able to join us for a Science Slam in China. So that's also, as we said many times, the positive side of being in a pandemic, if I'm allowed to say that. But it was great. So our slammers, as we call them, they competed in the Science Slam. So they performed a 10 minutes presentation trying to explain us their research project and what is the scientific value of it. And then the jury, together with the audience, had the opportunity to vote. They voted, we collected the votes, and then finally, after watching all the presentations, after the deliberation of the jury, we got to a finalist. It wasn't an easy decision, right, Halldor? I think the jurors were really in depth because the score were very, very close.
Yeah, so yeah, exactly. Before I announce, I'm going to keep it a little bit suspense. If you haven't seen the Science Slam, you might not know who the winner is. Before I introduce the winner, I just want to let everybody know that if you're interested in seeing the Science Slam, we basically videocasted it, just like we did with the we've been doing right now. So we casted it onto Twitter and Facebook and YouTube, and you can find the whole Science Slam there in our 11th videocast of the year that we recorded and streamed during the event. And there you can actually go through and you can see all of the different participants and how the presentation went and so on. You can maybe judge for yourself if you agree with the jury on who the winner is. And also later what we will do, we will also add it together. We'll take all of the six final slammers, the finalists, and we'll make like 6 different videos so people can come and to our website or going to some of our media channels, and they can just watch them one by one, and they can also decide. And like Anna said, we had like 3 different ways to kind of like evaluate this, and I think in the end we had like a really nice, rigorous way to evaluate each of these slammers, because we had our jury here in Beijing, 12 of them. No, sorry, there was like 8 of them in total, and then for the online jury, we had also 8 people as well, like Anna just said, and then everybody got to vote. Like the jury, they were voting on different dimensions of a science presentation. They were looking at the creativity of it and the scientific impact and the presentation skills and several other things. And also, like I said, we also counted in like the audience appreciation. And after putting it all into our formula, we found out that there was like a really few really strong sort of science communicators in the event that night, but one of them was the best, and that is Dr. Alvaro Castells, who's a Spanish researcher at Dr. Pia's Cosmos Laboratory at the Guangzhou Regenerative Medicine and Health, which is part of the new Guangdong Laboratory in Guangzhou. And he had like this really interesting slam where he took advantage of the fact that it was happening through Zoom to be able to use like sort of a camera of movements and different props that were available to him to introduce a little bit how the scientific instruments in his laboratory works and how he can use these scientific instruments to reveal the structure of the DNA, basically. It was really interesting, and he really managed to communicate this really well, and I think people were really impressed, and that's why he was picked. So we here at Eurexess, we really congratulate Dr. Castells for his really deserved victory here. And he is here joining like a long history of Science Slam winners. This is the 6th Science Slam that we've done. And actually during that evening, we had like with us like old winners like Chong Tong, who won the last time, and Miss Xiao Tong Meng, who won the year before him, as well as Vegas Malik, who won in 2016, and like all of these people were there. And now Alvaro has joined this excellent group. Actually, Anna, we should maybe think about how we can maybe use this group, because now we have like a 6 group, like 6 people that are like really proven themselves to be amazing communicators, and maybe we can like do something with them in the future. That would be really interesting. But there was one thing that was really new with the Science Slam this year, and we've never done before, and that was the fact that it all took place in a hybrid format. We were not only in the meeting room here in Beijing, but also we had this we had the Zoom meeting going on. So all the presenters were not in the room, and this is the first time we had to do this in a science lab. A normal science lab has not always been like this. Like normally what we do is that we will invite them and fly them to Beijing, and we will have this big event with a lot of audience, 200 people watching and voting and doing everything. So I have to say, even though we had really lovely facilities and there was like this beautiful concert hall that we were using here in Beijing with beautiful piano and candles and everything, it was a little bit lonely there to be only 10 of us. But we did feel a little bit better because on the screen, Anna had like a whole cohort of people that were doing their online jury alongside with the finalists who came also online. And in addition to that, there were also, I think, over 100 audience members that were watching it through the stream and through the Zoom webinar feature, etc. And I think on its own, this whole format is a really revolutionary way for us to do this. But I think we all agreed that it was a little bit missing, because when it comes to science communication, there's so much more to it than just doing a video. Although doing a communication, like being able to show off your video skills, is a good indicator of that you're a really good communicator. But what we also wanted was to give like a little bit of feeling of stage presence. So what we decided to do, and it was kind of crazy and a little bit, I think, over the line for us, but we did it anyway, was that we introduced this third space to the whole activity, where in addition to the Beijing venue and in addition to the Zoom participants, we also had virtual reality dimension to it all. So the people in Beijing and the people in Zoom could meet each other in this virtual reality space that we had created for the purposes of this event. It was like a virtual reality island in this beautiful environment with a huge stage, and there was this gallery with all the pictures from previous science slams from the years before and so on, and everybody was able to participate in this. We sent virtual reality devices to all of the finalists and some of the online juries, and they were all there. So between being on Zoom, you can see it in the video, they put down their virtual reality glasses, and they will go into this new space. And inside the Beijing venue, we also had virtual reality glasses for everybody. So when they were watching, they could watch it on a big screen. They were also able to go into virtual reality, see what's going on right there, and also maybe even interact with each other and the participants in a way that Zoom just doesn't allow. And this was really interesting. It was really difficult. And I mean, like, one of the things that happened is that maybe halfway through, the virtual reality server crashed, but Anna, who was on top of the technical side in Italy, managed to restart it all, and it was a exhilarating thing. And I can say there was a lot of adrenaline going on, trying to juggle these three different things at the same time. But I think in the end, it really gave an interesting perspective of how these sort of things can be going on in the future. We can be meeting each other in reality. We can be communicating through online meeting, remote meeting software. And we can also meet like in this virtual way, which is like a totally new way. And I don't think I've ever seen anybody do that before in our field of work. So I think it's a little bit of a very revolutionary, innovative approach to this whole thing. And it gave the presenters an opportunity to sort of give a feeling that they're actually there, that they're standing on a stage, they have to move around, they have to move their hands, they need to look at the audience, they need to do all of these things that you need to do when you're actually doing a science communication in reality. So that was really, really exciting. We did not make them do the whole slam in virtual reality. Actually, just before their slams, which took place on Zoom, all of them had to go on stage in VR and do like a 1 to 2 minute short pitches of themselves, just to give this impression that they are on a stage and they can do all of that. But it's difficult to describe in words, so we have put together a little bit video to show you guys how it was and how the feeling is. So let's take a quick look at that. And our participants that are coming all over from all over China, from Chengdu and Chongqing and Guangzhou. The thing that is different right now is that we thought that we would try to break out of the Zoom a little bit by inviting you guys to sort of see how the future of communication can be if we're using virtual reality. And that's why there's virtual reality devices on all the tables here today. And that's why all the science climbers have a virtual reality device at their home right now. And that's also why some of our online classes are going to be in virtual reality. So if you guys are interested, you can put on your virtual reality glasses. They should all be ready. And you can see the slammers who are already in there. You can talk to them even and so on. And what's more, you can watch them when they will start the science slam by introducing themselves in your virtuality. So I was thinking, Anna, maybe you could like pop into virtuality really quickly. And we can see how it looks like. Oh, there I am. And where are you? Oh, there you are. So, do you see me? Hello? Anna, do you hear me? There. She's not going to be very no, but this lady over there, she's very. Okay. Anyway, so this is how it looks like. You guys can see the virtuality here. Oh, and everybody in the room has already put the virtuality on. Anyway, so I was thinking at this point I would maybe just throw the ball back to Anna, and who will start with the first 3 science that you're introducing them and so on. And we will also hear from them, hear the first round of introduction. Actually, before we start, I might want to introduce like who is in the room here with us today, but we don't have all of them yet, so I might do it later. But just really quickly, we have science diplomats here from the Norwegian embassy, and we have from German Academic Exchange Center. We have a professor from Videocast. We have diplomats from the Philippine embassy and the France embassy. So basically, these are the sort of audience that we're looking at right here. And maybe Anna will introduce a little bit what sort of people are with her online. Okay, Anna?
Yeah, of course, Halldor. So this format of having people online and in VR really allows us to welcome members of the tour from all around the world, because we literally have members from China, from New York, Milan, Barcelona, you can name it. We have someone from everywhere, basically. So yes, since they're all connecting online, I'm going to just maybe ask them to just show their faces, wave to say hello to the audience, and maybe just very quickly say their name, where they are, and what they do. So we do it very quickly, and then we move on. Okay, so that was our virtual reality dimension of the event. It was really a little bit complicated because you don't see it from the video, but here in front of me, I had 3 computers, a camera, an extra monitor, and also my Googles. So it was complicated to manage, but I think it was really a good experiment, and it was also fun. And all of us were able to set up our own avatar. So it was super funny also to see that some of our finalists chose a completely different avatar from how they looked like on Zoom and in reality. It was really great, and some of the jurors also came in virtual reality and walked a little bit in this digital amphitheater where we were meeting and the slammers were making their presentation. It was really a good experiment, and then Alvaro, he was also very stressed about it, and funny thing, when Halldor was about to announce the winner, his connection dropped. So basically, when the winner was announced, we had no winner in the room. Luckily, he managed to reconnect in a couple of minutes, and we managed to congratulate him live. But that was funny, right, Halldor? It was a funny conclusion.
Yeah, exactly. People were a little bit struggling with the technology there, and that was not even the VR. That was just like the Zoom and connecting to that. So it shows that there's a a long road ahead of us in terms of fixing up all of these things. But yeah, I was really happy to see Alvaro finally realizing his victory, and you should see his surprise and happiness when he found out that. But actually, talking about Alvaro Castells, you know, in reality, I had already met this guy once before, and that was just like a month ago when we were doing our researchers' night in Guangzhou. So we did a researchers' night in Guangzhou, I forgot, like the 14th of November. It was like the second Saturday of November. And also the same day, we had been organizing this event with Spanish researchers in China, who were doing an event in Guangzhou as well, and we co-organized that with them. And that's where I met him, where he was like discussing his research, and it was kind of similar to like the topic of his speech was about his scientific instruments and what he does and so on, but in a much more serious way, a lot more sort of like scientific way, and talking about like in detail. But because the audience were other scientists, right? But he totally got it when it came to the science lab. The point is to try to communicate this to non-expert audience. So I think that's also one of the reasons why he was successful. After that event in Guangzhou, we went to a bar in downtown Guangzhou called Happy Monk, and we had our Euraccess researchers night there, where we had about 50 researchers, both Chinese and European, coming, and all the Spanish researchers from the Spanish event, they also came. And I think that was also a really nice evening, and I know that Alvaro and his colleagues also came, and we had a drink together and so on. So that was really funny coincidence that I had just like met up with these people right before. And it kind of also, I wonder if he learned about the Science Lab by going to these events. If you guys are researchers here in China, you should definitely be following us on our website and so on, because we do this event all the time. This was just like a pure networking event where you just meet, we had some food, some drinks, it was fun. We did one in Shanghai also this fall. We're probably going to be doing one in Beijing really soon if COVID allows us. and it is really nice. And I think a lot of people might not kind of get it. They might not know what these events are necessarily about. And that's just because you need to kind of come to be able to see. Except for this one in Guangzhou, it just so happens that we got like a secret backdoor or a glimpse into what a real researcher's night actually is. And the reason for that is that because we had with us sort of an undercover journalist that was right there at the same time. There is this vlogger here in China named Steve Song, who is a video blogger on the blog platform Weibo. And he had been, in the previous weeks before the researchers' night, been doing this series of videos about European-China collaboration when it comes to sustainability. And he had been visiting all these people, including some of our Euraccess members here in China, and talking to them about what their work and research when it comes to the field of sustainability and so on. And what do you know? The topic of the researchers' night in Guangzhou was exactly on the topic of sustainability. So he came on his bicycle all the way through the city and so on, and joined us in the evening for our researchers' night. And while I was doing that, he recorded the whole thing and published it on his blog channel. And I took the liberty to kind of edit out our part so I could like show it to all of us, because I think it shows really well how nice the atmosphere is during these sort of events. You know, like you can see everybody's having fun. You can see how Chinese and European researchers are interacting. It's really, really fun. So I'm going to suggest that we just like really quickly jump to that video for a second and take a look at how a researchers' night organized by Euraccess looks like from an outsider point of view.
is Halldor, and I'm the country representative of Eurexis in China. And what is Eurexis? Let's see. So Eurexis, in a nutshell, is like a network of researchers. So we are creating a bridge between China and Europe by connecting researchers, connecting individuals in Europe and China that are doing research. First of all, we try to focus on Chinese researchers that are here and are interested in working with Europe in some way, looking for partners in Europe or doing something with Europe. And then the other group are European researchers that are coming here to China. 4 things that are most important. Number 1, we try to disseminate information. We also do all kinds of networking. We did a science communication training. So like if you want to learn how to do like this kind of fun thing, you can do it through our webinars. That's probably the best way.
吃差不多了，最后一个羊排吧。
So here we are again. You can see that Steve really enjoyed the lamb chops and the European food that we were making available there. Actually, really funny story. I had this event, and the organizer of the hosts of the venue, they were really nice to offer a sort of a open bar. So if you guys want to have some drinks, they could like come and have like a beer or something. And it was totally fine. People liked it a lot until all the Spanish people came in and the Italian people, like hour late, like normally. And they were like, okay, so this includes like cocktails and beers and soft drinks and tea, and what about wine? And I was like, I don't think it includes any wine. So we had to go into emergency mode to make sure that people could get some wine. It was really funny because, you know, these are the sort of people that prefer wine above all else. I don't blame them. It is a really nice sort of to have a glass of wine when you're meeting up with people. It's really lovely. Anyway, the researchers' nights are an amazing opportunity to meet up with people, meet with other researchers, for Chinese researchers to meet European researchers, and European researchers to meet Chinese researchers. When I was there, I heard from the people that were coming to the events that they had an amazing experience from that. One person said that in our last networking meeting, they met with a partner that they later organized like a whole summer school with or whatever. So there are all kinds of things that we never even hear about, that people that come about because people are connecting to these events. In these events, we try to make it really comfortable for everybody, so it should be no pressure. So if you guys want to and you're here in China, you should try to join us. We do them in Beijing, Shanghai, and Guangzhou. So we try to make sure that people in different parts of China are able to join this. We already did Shanghai and Guangzhou this fall, but there's probably going to be a Beijing one really soon. We wanted to do it earlier actually, but there was like really a strict new measures that came about because of COVID, so we had to postpone it. But who knows? I've already penned it in my calendar for January. So if you are here in Beijing, you should definitely like try to keep your month open before the Chinese New Year hits us at the beginning of February, if COVID allows. But that is in January. Now it's time for a break, Anna, right? Like holiday is around the corner, Christmas is coming, and I also know from really reliable sources that tomorrow is your birthday, actually. So I don't know, like, shouldn't we make maybe try to just like take a little bit break now and come fresh back in January? What are you planning to do during your holidays?
Oh, yes, so we should take a break. I totally agree. Oh, Christmas holidays is about, winter sports mainly and hiking in the mountains. I already have a very good bottle of wine in my fridge for tomorrow because, as you mentioned, we like wine in Italy. Well, we don't have the good beers they have in Northern Europe, so we are used to drink something different. But yeah, starting tomorrow, I'm gonna go ice skating, and there's going to be a lot of food, possibly a lot of meetings with relatives over Christmas and the days after. And then, if allowed, again, if COVID allowed, there's always this ifs. be in during these holidays. Yeah, I'm gonna go on the Alps. So yeah, a little bit of hiking, fresh air, and white mountains. It's going to be nice, hopefully. And but yes, so then New Year comes, and before Chinese New Year, we're gonna get back with new activities. Hopefully, a researchers' night. And Halldor, what about you? How is going to be Christmas in Beijing?
Just taking it easy. A lot of people are going down to Sanya for Hainan, like going to the beach or whatever. I'm not taking the chance in case there's some issues and I'm not allowed to return. So I'm just staying here. I'm going to be meeting up with friends and like cooking some good food and attending Christmas parties and so on. And also when I'm in China over Christmas, which has only happened for the first time last year, except for when I was a student. That also happened a couple of times. What I do is that I also try to Skype back home when it's 6 o'clock in Iceland, which is normally very late, like around 2 or 3 in the night here, to kind of join my family for their Christmas dinner. Anyway, yeah. So I think we can end here right now. I just want to say happy birthday to Anna, and maybe I'll just say Merry Christmas to everybody and Happy New Year.
Exactly. Happy holidays, Halldor, and happy holidays to everybody who's watching. Merry Christmas and have a wonderful beginning of the new year. See you in 2022.
Yeah. Bye bye.